I have been traveling with gear a lot. I've been to Indonesia, to the mountains, Austria, Switzerland, you name it, but also lately to Iceland and Norway. And I had to bring a lot of camera equipment, but also lighting equipment. So today I'd like to discover and talk about everything that I bring, how I bring it, how I prep, just basically everything that goes into the packing and the planning. Okay, so to kick this off, the first thing that I bring and that goes onto my back, into the plane itself, is my tilopa, which is an f-stop bag. I have a big or large ICU in there, which I can show you. And in this pouch, I put everything that is crucial for filming. So that means the brain, which is in this case, the Sony FX6, a card or multiple cards, a battery, more batteries, of course, go into the bag as well because they cannot go into your checked baggage. The handle, this is the monitor. The handle, the microphone. So basically everything that I need in order to film. I also put the lenses in here, of course, which I'll go about in a minute. I do this because if my bag gets lost, I still have my camera and I still can do the job. I can wear the same clothes for, I don't know, a week. I don't really mind. But, you know, I have my camera at least. That's the most important item. So I put this in my backpack. Like that. At the moment, I don't own a drone anymore, but I would put that in here. So I put it flat, I put a remote on top of it, and then I have a couple empty compartments for lenses. Well, one sec. I bring the 35, which is my Leica. I bring the 50, I bring the 19, which I put right here. And then the 80mm, I had Frank carry it, luckily. He was with me. That's nice. Otherwise, I put a pouch around it and put it on top of the pouch in the backpack. So now I flip this thing back, zip it up. I still have some room left over here, right? So what I do is I put my laptop right in here, which is very nice because I, use my laptop everywhere. I put my headphones, these ones, which are the Sony WH-M0015977791. I don't know. These noise cancelling headphones, put it on the top, and then usually I have a jacket, put it in here as well. Then my passport goes in here because it's the most protected pocket. And then on the top here goes my electronic toothbrush, some other accessories that I really need with me that contains either batteries or that I cannot put in my checked baggage. So that's basically it. Then we go over to the checked baggage. Now, for my checked baggage, I use this really nice Samsonite Curve yada yada something. The cool thing about this is that it has a lock on it, which is TSA approved, so I don't have to bring these flimsy locks. So the first thing that I bring is a tripod, which is of vital importance to the shoot, but it's too heavy to bring on the plane. Now, before, I always brought this one, which is a Gizzo 5-section tripod with a iFootage Komodo something head, which is nice, but I really do miss my Setchler when I'm on the road, so I'd now bring my Setchler tripod, which does seem really big, but with a flick of the wrist, I can take off the head like that, which is nice. And then I, flip off the feet like that. And then I can put it in diagonally. So you just slide it in like so. This is so nice because there is no better tripod than the Setchler Flowtech system to me. If you're running gun, you have to act quickly. The way this flips up is, I don't know, it's just amazing. So I do bring this one. Also, the head is just extremely smooth. Okay, so a thing that is different from my carry-on baggage is here goes my clothes as well. So what I do, for example, with the head, I put my puffer jacket, for example, and I put it around it. I just wrap it. And then I put it in a corner, and that is nicely and secure. Then I might put some extra underwear around it, as well as for the legs. Put my rain jacket around it, you know. I hardly fold my clothes, I just dump it in, and I make sure that it's protecting the gear, which is in the case. This heavy lens, for example, was really nice to bring, but it's too heavy for in my carry-on and also too big, so I put it in the checked baggage as well. But I did buy some bubble wrap for this, because it's just too expensive and too, fragile to be put loose, or, a couple socks or underwear around it. So I did buy some bubble wrap for this. So that's something that you have to imagine being around this lens. Nice. That goes here. Then I also bring lights. Now, to Iceland, I brought 2 lights, right? So 2 stands and then 2 lights, softbox, and so on. Now, that didn't fit in this case, of course, so I did bring the bigger one. Now, for light stands, it's kind of difficult because usually light stands are really big. Luckily, Manfrotto makes these really nice, small, flat, foldable tripods, or light stands rather, which you can bring in your case because they are 69 centimeters when you put it in diagonally. So let's put it in. That goes in here. Outside. Very nice. Okay, so the light that I brought was Amaranth 200X. This is the D version, but the X is standing over there, which is lighting me from the side. I wanted to bring the 60X, but I don't own it. So I did bring the bigger one, but I ran it at 12 or 13% output. So I could have done it with the 60. This is also wrapped in clothes and then put either here or here. The reflector I did bring just in case. Put it here, I don't know, or here. And probably put some socks in there as well. And then we have a softbox. So this softbox is the Aperture Lightbox 6090, which is a square or rectangular softbox. Perfect for travel because it's rather small and you can put it in your backpack or in your case like this, and it fits perfectly. It's a freaking workout putting this thing together. I'm sweating. God. That's basically how I go about the lighting kit. Of course, there's some cables and other accessories in there. And if it doesn't fit in this case, I bring another one. Quick thing about renting versus bringing it on your own. If you're in, for example, Iceland for 1 full week and you want to be as free as possible, renting stuff is a pain in the butt because you're limited to your time schedule. You have to plan things ahead, especially in Iceland where the weather is so unpredictable. You need to act when the weather is nice. So that's why I liked to bring my own equipment because, I could act way quicker. Okay, so let's jump behind the computer and check how I plan for these things. I will make a more detailed video about all this later, about my entire Notion workflow, how I go about it, how I communicate with clients, and how I write everything down and make it organized. But for now, just focus on how I prep it, and that's that. All right, let's take a look at how I prep things before a shoot in another country. So let's say for now, I want to make a new gig on the 16th, the 17th, and the 18th. I'll press the plus icon. I call this shoot in Madeira. Bam, very cool. Then I have a end date as well, which is on the 18th. That's cool. Then I have a client, which is new client. Nice typo. Freelance work, and then I click on my work template. This is a very easy way to quickly get everything that you need or that you're used to in your template frame. So usually when I have a meeting with the producer or with the director, I'll make a new meeting here. New meeting, very classic names. Meeting date was today. And then I'll just write down bullet points like 2 cameras, 2 lights, 2 soft boxes, cables, just things that pop up in my head while I have this meeting. So once that's done and everything's confirmed, I usually start booking my flights. So I always try to find a flight that is straight without layovers because it's annoying. Usually a little bit more expensive, but it saves you a lot of headaches, especially if you travel with a lot of gear. Next, and this is something that I write in my reminders, is what airline I chose, what airline I will book, and then what their luggage policy is. So what kind of luggage can I bring? Is it 70 centimeters, or for example with KLM I can bring 150 centimeters. So all that information is useful, so I write it down in my general reminders. So KLM flight 150 centimeters luggage, 23 kilos per bag, booked 3 bags. Right? So this is how I go about it, because then I have all this information at once there for me to see. Cool, then I book my flights, everything's done, and then I start making a pack list. So this is basically my travel pack list, and I'll put everything down there which is of importance for the travel. For example, documents, drone permits, all that stuff. And then I usually drag my camera pack list over there as well. So probably right now I want to bring the FX6 outdoor travel rig thing, and then all that stuff is there. So this is how I just go about it. I just write everything down, but I have a very structured system on in Notion that really helps me to see what I need to bring, or what I need to fix in one glance. Lastly, in this to-do area, I'll just punch in fix drone permits link, bam, and you know, all that stuff goes in there. So that's basically how I prep for this packing shenanigans. That's a nice word. So right, back to the standing me. If you have any questions regarding traveling, or maybe you're going to do your first traveling gig and you don't really know what to bring, or if it's smart to bring, please leave a question down in the comments below. I am sure I missed a ton of stuff, because there's a lot more that goes into flying with all this crap. But yeah, just shoot me a question. I'd love to answer them. And thank you so much for sticking with me. And we'll catch each other in the next one. This sound. Oh my God. Ugh.